Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin, and of course, as always, DK in the back doing his thing. Really excited to talk to you guys tonight about the Baltimore Ravens and this upcoming game. So let's get right into it, where we always start this week.
Yeah,
Glenn.
we got to bounce back. It was an embarrassing loss last week against the Miami Dolphins. And it's not the first time the Ravens have suffered an embarrassing loss at the hands of the Miami Dolphins. So this is a big, big game, right? I mean, you talk about a game that you got to win. Is it safe to say this is a must win right now if the Ravens want to get to where they want to go?
I think maybe not statistically, but I think mentally, yes. Yeah. Because if you lose this game, I mean, random topic. I just listened to a guy that did a transcontinental row from Europe to the United States, rode it, and talked about the importance of momentum. Yeah, we need some momentum here because if not, this could be a backbreaking loss. So, and I also am thinking about getting a shirt based on Iman Thomas's consistent contribution to the show. We live.
Oh, he big live.
That's right. So yeah, I totally agree. Must win here. And speaking of wind in our sails, it'll be interesting to see who we got as far as guys on the ship tonight. But we're going to start with the Bears and talk about who they got suiting up this weekend. So DK, give us the goods. What do we got here as far as who the Bears have on their injury report? All right, so let's run through this. You guys can see this on the screen. A decent amount of do not practice, of course, but I want to start with the obvious, and that is the news today that Khalil Mack will have, I don't know if he has or will have, I'm assuming will have season-ending foot surgery, so he will not be playing in this game, and I think that's the most important name we could bring up amongst this list. But outside of that, Jimmy Graham is, of course, that's a veteran day. Akeem Hicks, who's another, big time contributor on their defense. Absolutely. And looks like he's not going to be playing. Game status is out. And then Eddie Jackson is a guy that our friend at Windy City Breeze talked about as a playmaker, seems to have a nose for the football, and he's questionable as well. Another one, Glenn, Allen Robinson is most likely not going to go according to our source. And then obviously this. So while him and Justin Fields haven't found their love connection yet, still certainly a guy that garners respect from a defense. So just another guy out there that they won't have. Any other names on the list? Elijah Wilkinson.
I think Danny Trevathan is a nice loss for them as well.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You're losing a talented linebacker that can really run and tackle. Is a versatile player, can defend the run and pass.
And that dude's been around.
Yeah, he's just a consistent, good, quality veteran, and they're going to be without him. But I think I wanted a little bit. So first of all, not having Khalil Mack is a huge loss for them, a monster loss. That guy is a game wrecker, one of the few in the front seven that can just absolutely wreck a game single-handedly. So that's a huge loss. But Allen Robinson, while they haven't found the connection, Fields and Robinson, I think it's an important loss because he has seemed to find that connection with Darnell Mooney. And now with the loss of Allen Robinson, the Ravens can focus their attentions more on Darnell Mooney without the worry of leaving Allen Robinson on an island with someone. And you don't want him to pick this game to be the one he explodes in. So if they do lose, if they are without Allen Robinson, that's a big loss for them because it allows the Ravens to focus on the guy that he seems to have a connection with in Mooney.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that'll work out. And even him himself, of course, he's been limited all week. So he's not free of injuries either, referencing Mooney. And he had some big plays in that last week's game. I took some time watching that. He's definitely a playmaker himself. So being limited isn't going to help them either. All right, well, let's move on to our Baltimore Ravens because, Glenn, you might need to drink a glass of water and take a big inhale because this list is long.
Yes, this is a long list, but let me just start with the one that put me in the best of moods, okay? Because this is a long list, but there was some good stuff on this list
DK
as well.
is going to be scrolling down.
Yeah, make sure you're ready to adjust the frame of this. This list is absolutely ridiculously long. First of all, no team should have to deal with a list this long on top of the fact that our IR list is the worst in football as well. So, as far as the good news, let's start with at least the good news. Lamar Jackson is back. He's battled this illness that he describes as a cold.
I believe it was the bubble guts.
Jimmy, and now we talked about this off the air. I want to take a second. What? Yep. And you said it. You had, when I answered the phone, you had one simple question. What was that question?
What is Lamar eating on Tuesdays? Like, what does his diet consist of? Is he just like, I mean, is he like getting hammered, like binge drinking and killing McDonald's on Tuesday? Like, I doubt it, but I'm saying.
I used to, at his age, that's what I was doing.
But it's just so shocking to me that this is the fourth time. And look, Lamar, this is the one thing I told you, Glenn, that I don't like. I don't like Lamar walking in the stadium with a bag of McDonald's. This isn't Ocho versus science here. We don't need that. Like, we don't need that around here. Lamar, eat good. Prep your body. Your body is a temple, bro. You only got one. So take care of it. Don't take advantage of it. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. Happy to see him back. I don't think it was a cold. I think he was a little suffering from some dehydration based on the amount of stuff that was exiting his body.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, he's got to get it figured out because this is now the third or fourth week where he was forced to miss at least one practice due to.
He's got to up his fiber. Got to up his gut biomes, man.
He said he used to eat his Flintstone vitamins and his immune system should be up to par, but it just doesn't seem to be.
Something's wrong when you get COVID twice, I guess.
I guess so. But also he said, look, he admitted he's a little bit behind when he misses. So that's not what I like to hear. And I appreciate his honesty. But yeah, certainly glad he was back to practice as a full participant. Also back to practice today, Marquis Brown, his number one target and our number one receiver. Although in a limited participation, I do expect him to play. We're coming back from a thigh injury. Latavius Murray, also a limited participant. It might be a little bit much to ask for him to start this week, considering he's really only been a limited participant throughout practice this week and he missed so many.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for him. This might be a big Devonta Freeman. And we might be seeing some more Tyson Williams and maybe even Nate McCrary in this one. Rashad Bateman also had an illness, as did Bradley Bozeman. All those guys returned to practice as well. Look like they're going to play. Nick Boyle, full participant in practice. Is this the first week we're going to finally see Nick Boyle out there, Jimbo?
I'll wait and see.
Not willing to to bet on it yet?
On anything on the Ravens this week. They gotta
a bunch of injuries. I got you saying after last week. Yeah. Not good. But Calais Campbell, just a vet day, so he'll be out there. But here's another big name back at practice. Patrick McCarry, as he recovers from that ankle in a limited basis. He was back out there today. You think he gives it a go this Sunday? I mean, that's a big difference maker.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think if we would have seen a full participant on Friday, maybe.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think next week he comes back. I think, honestly, while I'm not convinced, I don't know if the Ravens might think they can get it done this week with Mac out, without a guy like McCarry.
Gotcha. And then some of the other worrisome ones, Brandon Williams still not practicing with a shoulder.
And John doesn't sound super happy about it.
Frustrating.
Already, so.
Frustrating because if there's one area where the Bears need to get going offensively, it's the ground game if they're going to have a chance. And not having Brandon, as much as we've been hard on him, we know that affects the Ravens' run defense. And then also another big one defensively, Anthony Averett did not participate today as he battles a thigh injury. Right now listed as questionable. But with the disappearance of Jimmy Smith this last few weeks, I mean, I'm a little worried to see Averett injured because I don't want to see a bunch of young guys out there running around and giving these guys hope and giving these guys an opportunity to get in this game, stay in this game, and who knows, steal this game. What's your worry around Averett?
Yeah, very worried because we talked about it and we put a show on about it. Jimmy is seemingly falling apart at the hip because, he's not even playing out there. So, yeah, I'm concerned. I mean, I'm absolutely concerned when it comes to that. I mean, overall, I'm just concerned about the length of this list.
It's insane.
I'm shocked. I'm starting to think Hollywood Brown just resents practice. Like, he's a hard worker. I just don't think he's a big fan of practice.
Hey, that's fine. As long as he suits up and keeps playing the way he has been this year, I'm fine with him just making it out to game day.
That's
but
right.
Good news is Tavon Young was back at practice, which the secondary desperately needed him back. Yep. And although he was limited, I expect him to play this Sunday. So lots of names on that list. If there's any I missed, we can certainly, circle back and touch on them. But yeah,
And
another week.
let me just say one thing. Sorry, Glenn.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, I think if he wants to be Iman, I apologize, but if he wants to be a regular person, he can clock in and out like a regular person like the rest of us, right? Like, he's a professional athlete. His body is his business.
Yeah.
If he wants business to be booming, then take care of your body. You're about to be $40 million plus a year. You're not a regular person. Like, you kind of gave that up when you entered into the NFL. It's just kind of the way it is, right? Like, sorry.
I mean, you look at the great players. I think it was LeBron. He spends like $100,000 a year on his body.
No, a million.
Even more.
$1 million, yeah.
Because that, like you said, that's your business. Your body is your business. So yeah, no doubt. Hopefully he's a young guy. I think a lot of guys that are young fall into that trap. So hopefully as he matures a little bit, he'll start taking better care. Shout out to Lisa Ann keeping the Team Glenn movement going, and we will get back on the winning track this week, no doubt about it. But yeah, anyway, all right. So let's move on. Let's start talking about the numbers. Let's get into the defensive rankings and statistics. Jimmy, you wanna start reading some of those off to us?
Yeah, for sure. And it's a sad one for the, or excuse me, I guess offensively it's more of a sad one. But as far as the Bears go, they allowed 25 points a game, which is just around what. Well, I guess I won't talk about the Ravens defense. Total yards, they are way better than us. 300 and 309 or yards allowed. I apologize, Glenn. This is a new page for me. Yards allowed 370. Rushing yards allowed 122 and passing yards allowed 247. So, I mean, on paper, a better defense than ours, but we talked about it, Glenn. They're missing some pieces with their big guy up front in Hicks, and then obviously with Khalil Mack out, it will be interesting. But allowing 25 points a game, and Glenn, I know you're going to mention this, but I'm gonna take a step ahead of you. That's basically our average that we are scoring on teams. So, these we've seen this defense before. This defense before, very similar. So I've said it at the beginning. I said it two minutes ago. It's a wait and see for me. Yeah, I'm not going into this game with a ton of confidence, but we talked about the names. It'll be interesting to see if Jackson makes his way out there. But a lot of big names missing for the Chicago Bears on defense.
Yeah, I think it's been a disappointing year because this is a defense that was expected to be good enough to possibly carry a struggling offense, and it certainly hasn't been that impressive this year. Now they have had some injuries, but look, you can't complain about injuries to the Baltimore Ravens or their fans.
Yeah.
We just will not hear it. So they have the overall ranked 23rd defense as far as the points. So I mean, that's not where they wanted to be preseason. I'm sure they had higher hopes and were hoped to be at least in the top half of defenses. And then losing Khalil Mack, that ain't going to help you play any better. That's for sure. So defensively, also wanted to highlight a player of theirs. Roquan Smith is an absolute terrifying figure in the middle of their defense. He's their middle linebacker. The guy, I mean, he does it all. He's fast. He can cover. He's sideline to sideline in the run game. He can sack the quarterback. He's got 3 sacks on the year. What's wrong, Jimmy?
I can't say anything about Lamar Jackson without everybody getting up in arms. I just said stop eating McDonald's, guys. Like, how is that bad?
Are you getting shredded?
Yeah, Nana's giving me a hard time here. Now everybody's getting behind Nana and giving me a hard time. Guys, I just said stop eating McDonald's. I don't think that's unreasonable. All right? It's just McDonald's. Like, just stop with the McDonald's.
Yeah, I think Jimmy,
Glenn, where did you end up?
What?
Where did you end up the last time you ate McDonald's? I know where I ended up.
Oh, of course. I mean,
the same place Lamar did when he left that Browns game.
Sticking straight out, gripping the bottom of the lid with my hands. I mean, yeah, that's exactly right. I think Jimmy, being a very health conscious person and a person who watches, his diet, everything that goes in, he doesn't like seeing Lamar pull up with a McDonald's bag. It just it bugs him a little bit, and I understand that for sure because this is a guy whose body is his life. So, but back to Roquan Smith. Yeah. The guy's got 3 sacks on the year. He's got a pick 6 on the year. And this is the part that really blows my mind. He's got 93 combined tackles so far this season, which is more than double the guy second on his team in Alec Ogletree, who has just 41. more than doubled the guy who's in second place. This is what it looks like when you have a legitimate middle linebacker in your defense. And yes, we've had many in the past, the greatest of all time. But right now, we don't have a guy like Roquan Smith. So, man, if there's any way we could drop off Patrick Queen and snatch Roquan Smith away from the Bears, that would be ideal. But look out for him. That's
Patrick
the guy
Queen
I'm worried
dresses up as Roquan Smith for Halloween. Like, that's who he tries to be. I mean, it's just he's a Raven. He's one of those guys you see on tape. He's a Raven. Like,
no doubt about it, man. I mean, he
hits people. He makes your ancestors feel it. And, I mean, that dude, he's a football player. He's impactful every down. He's tackling machine. Yeah, he's, that dude is a player.
Yeah, no doubt. Scary guy. All right, so let's get into the Ravens offensively and talk some numbers with you. All right, so for the Ravens offensively, right now they rank 12th in total offense. They're second in yards. That's impressive. I mean, you talk about all these injuries. The Ravens are second in the league in yards offensively. Got to give a shout out to that offensive group, including the coaches and players.
Be careful now, Glenn. Don't give a shout out to Greg Roman because that's how you get on a short list.
Man, you talk about a guy who had to just face the music in his presser. I watched his presser. I mean, straight to DVD performance is the way he described that game. And, just seemed like disappointed in himself that they didn't have a better answer for that blitz, that cover zero that they were seeing 40 times in a single game. Now, they didn't run it 40 times, but they showed it 40 times. So they certainly have to bounce back. Now, rushing, that remains the same. Ravens are number 1 in the National Football League. They average 200. Oh, I'm sorry. They average. Look, I feel
rushing?
like you now, Jimmy. Yeah. 154.1 on the ground, which is number 1 in the National Football League. Passing, they average 260 net passing yards per game. Which is still, it's a still respectable number. They're top 10 right now in yards, just barely hanging on the 10. And then through the air, they've thrown 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So offensively, while those numbers are sliding a little bit in the passing game, they're climbing in the run game and overall remaining the same as far as their total offensive rank, second in yards. But look, we know what this offense looks like. I don't have to tell you too much. We know that this offense is really about Lamar Jackson and what he can do to create the run game as well as push the ball down the field in the passing game. So,
and one thing's for sure, we love Lamar Jackson.
Oh, no doubt about it. Absolutely do. And I watched his presser too, and even he was about to start crying talking about the Louisville, the retiring of his number. So he's just an awesome dude, no doubt about it. All right, so let's get into our keys to the game offensively and how this offense is going to attack the Bears defense.
Yeah, look, to me at the end of the day, it's the same thing as before, guys. Let's get started early. Get on them early. Let's get down the field, get 7 on the board. I don't want to see 3. I obviously don't want to see 0. But let's take control of this game early because I think that does a myriad of things. Number one, it helps our defense, hurts their offense, and then obviously puts us in the lead. But let's just get on them early. That's my key to the game. Let's get out there and let's win the first quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. They've got to figure out these slow starts. No doubt about it. For me, offensively, to me, all year, this Ravens team has struggled on third down, which is crazy to me because they have the third down cheat code in Lamar Jackson, and yet they still are in the bottom half of this league in conversions. It's got to change. And last week, it was horrendous. I think we were converted one of I had to look it up exactly the number, but it was absolutely pathetic, our third down performance last week. So the third downs, they've got to be better. They just have to be better. There's going to be opportunities where, there's going to be situations where you're not just going to be in third and short, where you have your entire playbook at your hands. There's going to be opportunities where you're going to have to convert third and medium and third and long. And I need to see them do this on a consistent basis because all year they have struggled on third down. And it's causing this defense to really get exposed because then they get on the field too long and then they ultimately start giving up plays late that are uncharacteristic of a Ravens defense. So to me, it's all about the third down conversions, and somehow they got to get that figured out.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. It's going to be really interesting.
They were 2 for 14 last week. Thank you, DK. 2 for 14 on third down. You can't win a game at 2 for 14.
Jeez whiz. Yeah, no kidding. That's terrible. All right, so my breakout offensive player of the game, I'm speaking of cheat code, I'm using the cheat code. I'm picking the easiest one. It's going to be Lamar Jackson. I think that he comes out there ready to go, emptied out. You know, he's got a new lease on life in the gut department. I think he's ready to go. He's going to be slinging fire and running and feeling light and alive. So yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to do his thing in this game. I believe that wholeheartedly. And so Lamar Jackson will be my offensive breakout player of the game.
Wow, you really went on a limb on that one there, Jimbo.
Well, you know, I got on enough limbs. I figured I'd stay on the stump this time.
For me, I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. I need to see.
That's a real limb. Speaking of limbs,
look, I don't want to hear it from you, Lamar Jackson over here. I mean, yeah, you can't pick the easiest one and then criticize me. But look, the bottom line is the Ravens had. We all know Lamar Jackson likes to attack the middle of the field, and he's not alone in that. I mean, you know, a lot of quarterbacks like to own and dominate the middle of the field, and then that opens up everywhere else. Well, if you want to operate and dominate the middle of the field, Mark Andrews has got to be your main target, and I think he will be this week. I think if the Ravens see a familiar scene in that they're showing, the Bears are showing a lot of that blitz zero, whether they drop into coverage or not, and they will sneak it. They'll show blitz, and then they'll drop a guy underneath in the middle and hope that you don't see him and he can jump up and snatch the ball. So as long as you know, Lamar doesn't get caught in that scenario, I think he's going to have an opportunity to expose the middle of this defense. They're missing a lot of key players in that middle. And unless Roquan Smith is a great, great player, but he's not good enough to stop Mark Andrews. So unless he's got help with a safety or something like that over the top, he's going to have trouble with Mark Andrews, just like every single linebacker in the league will have trouble with Mark Andrews because he's just an absolute monster. So a lot's on the plate of Roquan Smith, and I think Mark Andrews is a little too much for that defense to handle. So I think he balls out and has a big game offensively.
Fair enough. Like it. All right, let's switch over to the other side of the equation here. Let's talk about the matchup of their offense versus our defense. So I got some sad numbers to read to you, Glenn. If you are a Bears fan, which luckily you're not, but if you were, your offense right now is scoring 16.7 points a game. That's a little over 4 points a quarter. Pretty terrible. They are, 309 yards a game, 172 passing yards, and 136 rushing. I mean, that's legit, but
the rushing ain't bad, but you know, it helps when you have a dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, 172 passing yards and 309 total yards of offense. Ugh, it's ugly. And so, yeah, I mean, not super concerned, at least on paper, from an offensive standpoint. Before we talk about the Ravens defense, one, you know, the duo, and you kind of mentioned it, that rushing duo between Montgomery and Fields is really, I think, what you got to focus on in this game. Fields has been getting a lot of rushing yards on the unscripted plays because he's running for his life, right? And then obviously Montgomery can put his shoulder down and like Pat the designer said in our show this week with him from Windy City Breeze, every once in a while you get tired of getting hit in the mouth. Similar to Gus Edwards, we've seen him do that for years now, and Montgomery has a lot of that in him as well. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting duo we're going to have to go after.
Yeah, no doubt. And then on the outside, you got to watch for Darnell Mooney. We talked about it a little bit early on.
Yep, good point.
He's the big play threat. He's the guy that seems to have the connection with Justin Fields. And across the middle, you know, you can't forget about Cole Kmet, the tight end, big guy. He's got 44 targets on the year. He's turned it into 28 catches. So yeah, those are the guys I'm looking for defensively to keep an eye on if I'm a Ravens player. Now, as far as the Ravens defense, they give up 386.8 yards per game. And then points, they give up 24.1 points per game. So not really to the standards that, you know, are set here by the past Ravens and all that. And they got some areas they need to improve on. But to me, the biggest area is going to be the big play threat. I mean, you got to stop the big plays, and a part of that is tackling well, because a lot of those big plays are yards after catch or yards after contact. So even though these numbers are a bit inflated in that, I think these are controllable things. I don't think a lot of these are mental errors. It's not like, well, our guys just aren't good enough to cover their guys, or our guys just aren't good enough to stop this run attack. That's not the case. These are mental errors that are causing these inflated numbers. And while you can't do this, if you were able to take away a play here or a play there, these numbers would look completely different, because a lot of these are chunk plays. But you can't take them away. They count just as much as any. So you got to make sure, you're tightening up those big plays, because a team like this is looking for those big chunk plays to give them some confidence and keep them in the game. And then things start to tighten up if you're the expected team, the team that's expected to win the game and who has Super Bowl aspirations, versus a team who comes in with virtually no expectations, can play a lot more free. That's kind of the worry, and that's what the Dolphins took advantage of last week. I think they came in with carefree attitude. They didn't have anything really to play for except for their pride and making sure they put on a good show
and fun.
Exactly, and they had a lot of fun out there, and they certainly showed it. The Ravens have 5 picks on the year, which is a little low for this far into the season. You want to see that number get up. They do have 19 sacks on the year, but while they've surrendered 28, so they certainly want to increase their turnovers and get their pressures up a little bit, and hopefully, when you're facing this Bears offensive line, I mean, you couldn't really ask for a better offensive line as far as if you want to ignite your pass rush. Now, tough quarterback to tackle in the backfield, but certainly an offensive line that has some ability you could expose some members on that offensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really going to be an interesting one for sure, and we'll get into that in our over-unders as far as the weakness of the offensive line versus our guys up front. I'm excited. Little tease there, but I want to get to our friends and sponsor the show and reason why this has been.
Don't forget our keys to the game defensively too, Jimbo.
This has been made possible. I was just looking at that. Absolutely, but before we talk about Symbol, the stock market for sports, and how our portfolio is doing these days, we're going to get into our defensive keys to the game. And let me give you mine, Glenn.
Yeah.
So this is what I wrote down verbatim. Make the wide receivers beat you, keep things in front of you, and simply tackle. You talked about tackling, but what I mean by that is make Fields deliver the ball to the receivers in a situation where they have to beat you with yak yards, not over the top. Obviously, big plays we can't let up, but what will kill us in this game is the yards after catch, in my opinion. And so if we can keep everything in front of us, simply tackle, and keep the unscripted stuff from breaking our backs, and the rush game and the running game, I think that we're in the driver's seat. So that's my defensive key to the game. I realize that was a bit long-winded, but that's how I see it going. Keep them in front of you and make the wide receivers beat you in a yards after catch type scenario.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I think you make a lot of good points. And to me, it's just about harassing Fields. I mean, this is a rookie quarterback who's looked like a rookie at times. And so the Ravens, I think, need to aim for that. Make him look like a rookie. Show him things he hasn't seen. Try and confuse him. But most importantly, attack this weak offensive line. Have Justin Fields, make him have to have a fantastic game in order to even compete. I mean, there's been moments, I think, in the Steelers game, there was a scramble that was absolutely, sensational. It was Lamar-esque in his ability, but that's fine. If he's going to do that, then make him do that. Make him put on his Superman cape and cause, force multiple misses in the backfield and let that be the case. If you're going to lose like that, putting the pressure on him, confusing him, continuously throw different looks at him. And I think there's an opportunity for this pass rush, like I was mentioning earlier, to really ignite and have one of those games. They talk about Justin Houston was just talking on his presser that sacks come in bunches. Well, This is an opportunity for those sacks to come in bunches, and I think the Ravens take advantage of it.
Well, I guess if anyone would know, it would be him. That's for sure. But let's get into this now, Glenn, because I have a question to ask you. We got 4 teams in our portfolio. The Ravens, of course, in our Symbol portfolio. The boys, the Cowboys, the Bengals, and the Raiders. Guys, we really like Symbol because you can make money using your sports knowledge. It's all professional sports, essentially, the major professional sports and college football. So we've put our money into those teams, hoping that the stocks will be worth more than they are at the end of the season. And we are also getting earnings from each time the team wins.
Yeah.
So make sure you go check out Symbol and use 410 as your promo code to get $10 free. But my question to you, Glenn, is of those 4 teams, which stock do you believe is trending up right now?
Of the
4 we have in our portfolio.
Well, I gotta say the Ravens probably took a bit of a dip with their issues, in Miami. So I'm not going to say them. I would say, man, I guess are the Cowboys looking real good after that butt whooping they put down on somebody?
Now this might be a little bit of a facade based on what we know about the market.
Okay,
it's the Baltimore Ravens.
Really? Is that because of their upcoming game? You think?
I think it is because of the upcoming game. I think it is because of some recent acquisitions to the stock and therefore upping the price. But it is up a little under 2%. Okay. The Cowboys, interestingly enough, are down 0.5%.
That is interesting.
But I think it all has to do with that Chicago Bears game, people wanting to buy in before it really starts. People are still believers in the Ravens.
Rightfully so.
Certainly one big believer in the Ravens.
Yes,
but certainly there are a lot of people that are spending some dollars on the Ravens. So look, guys, I think the Ravens are they could be the Amazon of Symbol, right? Like a very consistent stock. You just buy in and let it keep keep making you money.
The easiest way to understand how to pick a good team to buy stock in using Symbol is find a young quarterback on a team that you expect to be on their ascension, and then just put some money into it and watch it grow. I mean, it's that easy. And the same can be said around all the other sports. I mean, you look at the NBA. If you see a guy who's drafting a young superstar player, absolutely go after that stock and just watch your money grow. Okay, so Iman Thomas, super sticker, appreciate it, Iman.
Yep. Appreciate
the love, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you guys if you guys have Symbol and you have any interest in us doing a show based on our thoughts and how you can make money on it, feel free to let us know. We'd be happy to freely dole out our information if you guys see it of value. So it's totally up to you guys. But if that's something you guys want to see, let us know and we'd be happy to do so. But yeah, all right. So let's get
the
back
Patriots.
to it,
Freddie Lopez says the Patriots, not a bad one. Not a fan of the Patriots, but man, if I was, I think I might have to buy a couple stocks in the Patriots because, man, that defense, and the offense does just enough.
That just like you said, Glenn, that means that next year, whatever the floor is now, whatever the ceiling is now this year, that's going to be the floor next year going in.
No doubt.
From a stock perspective. So, yeah, definitely something interesting to see moving forward. Now, we didn't get to our defensive breakout players of the game, and I think yours is really funny. I think you're doing a little trolling here, Glenn.
Well,
so who is your defensive breakout player of the game?
Look, it's not. If you look at my defensive keys, you'll see it's not
Fair
really
enough.
trolling. Although I love to shoot you a text message every time this player scores a specific statistic. Yes, absolutely. So for me this week, it's going to be a Dafe Owe. He talked about, again, he was up doing a presser and he talked about wanting to have a well-rounded game, for himself, not just, one specific game, but his overall game being well-rounded. He doesn't want to just be a edge rusher. He don't want to be just a guy who can rush from the interior. He doesn't want to just be a pass rusher in general. He wants to be a full-rounded player. And so the Ravens are moving him up and down the defensive line. They're not just sticking him on the outside. They're putting him everywhere and seeing what this kid's got. And let me tell you what he's got, Jimbo. He is the fourth, I believe it was the fourth most double-teamed player to this point in the league. The fourth most behind, TJ Watt. It's edge guys. So I don't have the list in front of me. I'm reading off.
But we believe you.
So the fact that a rookie is already garnering this kind of respect is, it's a credit to Owe, and I think he should
it'll be
really
great for
proud
him
of
next
that.
year.
No doubt about it. Exactly. So, next year he's going to be he's going to be a whole new player, Jimbo. But this year he's going to make you eat that microphone cover. I hate to say it.
We'll
I hate
see.
to say it, but this is going to
So
be the
what's he getting
game.
in this game? How many?
He's
Like
getting
a pair?
2 sacks. He's getting 2 sacks. This is his first 2-sack game of his young career, and I think one of them's the strip sack. And I think it's a big key moment in this game, kind of a momentum shift as
You
well
see
as
me,
a
man?
scoreboard shift. Yeah, you're gonna be sweating. You're gonna be sweating. Absolutely. So Odafe Owe.
Shiny.
Yeah, look out for Odafe Owe.
Yeah, so I like that one. Not mad at it.
Okay.
I'm going with another one, the old wily vet and captain of this defense, Chuck Clark. Glenn, you said it yourself. We've only got, 5 picks this year? Yeah. I think Chuck Clark gets his hands on a football this week and makes an interception.
It better be a tip ball because, my man's got encyclopedias for hands.
Yes, unfortunately he does. But he also is going to lead our defense in tackles.
Okay, I can see that.
So one heck of a game for Chuck Clark this week. I feel good about him based on the matchup that we have. All right, so we're getting into the competition here, guys. Make sure this is our over-under competition. We have a lot of fun with this. Make sure if you want to get involved in the competition, you win a shirt, or if you're out of the country, we'll send you a gift card. But of course, you want the 410 Sports Talk swag. I know that some of you guys already have it. And if you haven't gotten yours yet, please just hit us up. Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and we'll make sure we get it to you. But all you got to do is answer the over-unders, either comment in the video when it ends or DM us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and we will be sure to count tally up your submissions. There we go. If I could speak correctly. But all right, DK, what do we got first?
First of all,
offense? Yeah.
Can the chat show some love for Jimmy's hair? Because, my goodness, is Jimmy's hair looking sharp tonight. Look at that, man.
You see the line, dude? You see the line?
You look like you stepped out of a Paul Mitchell catalog, my man.
Hey, look, we have a name for him. His name is Papi Chulo.
Oh, that's your hair?
Papi Chulo, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
My
now
wife
we can proceed.
when it's Papi Chulo time. Ooh, she better look out.
Look out. Someone's adding a sibling. Yeah, it is. It is.
It does seem like I'm going some there, DK.
Yeah, some there. Come on, you're the writer on our squad.
DK.
You're the writer on our squad.
Jeez,
some there. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna have to start proofreading some articles around here, man.
All right, DK. What do we got for the first one, my man?
All right, Mark Andrews receiving yards set the over-under at 70.5. And look, after I made him my breakout offensive player, I can't go anything but over in this situation. So, I am going to go over. While I'm a little concerned that this game could be out of reach to the point where, he may not be, a focal as far as downfield passing, I still think he gets in the end zone at least once. I'm still going to stick with my guy, Mark Andrews, and say over. I think he catches at least one chunk play, about a 35-yarder, maybe a deep cross over the middle, ends up on the left side. But that's kind of what I'm predicting. I think he goes just over about 75 yards for Mark Andrews.
Fair enough. I like it, but I disagree, Glenn.
Good.
I'm going under, and I'm going to be right. Usually am. So I'm going to go with under just barely, but I'm going under. What about you, DK?
You guys don't like the Raiders.
Wait, DK. Was there a last minute change, sir? Did I read something wrong? There was a last minute change. See, look, this is why I need to be a prosecutor in court, dude. I just have the ability to sway people like nobody's, oh man. As my dog goes nuts. He agrees with me apparently.
And you know what? If this weather report from Axel is correct, I'm getting a little nervous. He says 50 degrees, 20-mile-per-hour wind, and drizzle. Well, Mandrews, I'm going to need you to get some yak yards out there. I'm going to need you to break a couple tackles because the ball might not be traveling that far in the air if the weather is just like that. But okay. All right. So you guys...
That weather report will affect the next one.
Oh, and there's no doubt about it. What is the next one, DK? Lamar Jackson passing yards, setting it at 271.5. Man, that isn't... Did you just change, Jimbo?
I did.
You know what? I don't know what you guys
when the facts change, my opinion changes.
Man, do I want to... You know what? I think I'm going to...
I'm going under, ladies and gentlemen. Just wondering if that's what you're wondering. I'm going under based on the weather report by my man Axel. Hopefully it's right. I'm going under. Glenn, what are you doing here, bud?
I'm going under also. I mean, it's scared the bejesus out of me. I think this is the week.
DK, what, are you going to stick with what you got, bro?
Oh, yeah. We're saying it that way he can't change it because I want him to be wrong this week. But, yeah, I think under. Dude. Look, I don't think he's that far under, but I think he's about 260, and then he runs for, about 80, 85. So it's still a successful day, but a little bit under that total. DK, go ahead and confirm that you did not change under the pressure of your
courage of his conviction.
Look at that. I love it. He's going to be wrong, and that's why I love it, but I still love it. Okay, let's move to some defensive over-unders. And boy, does it just seem like these over-unders are geared to me? And the reason they are is because I'm the favorite to win every week. I mean, let's just call it what it is.
Are you the betting favorite or the favorite in your own mind?
Well, I'm the fan favorite.
Because I think DK is the betting.
When you're a man of the people like myself.
Oh, is that what you are?
I'm the fan favorite.
Glenn for president 2024, guys. Hey, you got my vote, bud. You got my vote.
Hey, you know what? And I'll need a good vice president, okay? So whenever you get a chance, give me your brother's number. Moving on.
Oh, burn! Oh, burn!
Whoa. Yeah, buddy. Taking shots. Absolutely. And younger brother. Not even your older. Give me your younger brother. Now that one hurt a little bit.
No. I just think that's a bad move. That's all. I'm worried about the country.
Gotcha. All right. So defensively, our first over-under is Odafe Owe sacks, setting it at 0.5. This is a resounding over. Because he's going to get 2 this game, and one of which will be a strip sack. What do you say, Jimbo?
He's going under. Under. I think that he gets double teamed. They, just like you said, I think they wash him out, and he's going under. Part of the reason is because I've painted myself into this corner. I have to pick under. DK?
Okay. All right. Let's DK. DK over. Man.
All right. So DK came up with the next one. I like it. Oh, yeah. DK, why don't you put up on the screen? I like this one a lot. Justin Fields rushing long, 16.5 yards. So that's been his long for the season. Will he go over or under that in his rushing attempts is the question.
He's going to go under.
All right.
Jimmy,
you're wrong.
He's going to go on. No,
he's
I'm
going
not
over.
Wrong.
The Ravens can't tackle. They can't tackle. He's going over. One time, he's going over.
Look,
the Ravens are going to give up a big pass play and a few big run plays. That's what we do. It's what we've done all year. He's going over once, dude. 16.5. Lamar does that backwards.
Exactly.
Like, literally.
And that's my point. Jimmy, they've practiced against the best dual threat quarterback in the history of the league. They're not impressed with Justin Fields.
And they still can't tackle.
And they're going to tackle him. They're going to bring him to the ground. Absolutely. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Yes.
DK, look, what are you saying?
He agrees with me. Damn. Yeah, he agrees with me.
You confused yourself.
Of course he does. He's a smart man.
I'm gonna be
he's
right,
a smart,
guys.
smart man.
Be right. DK, look, when I'm right, I better see a tweet, bro. I better see a tweet. All right.
Nah, that's when we get real silent when you're right. Shout out to Channel Dirty who called us live. Appreciate the kind words. And by the way, man, Lisa Ann would vote for me for president. So
I would too.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, well, I appreciate that. All right, so
not that it means anything.
No, because I'm not running. Because that just seems like a world I don't want to get into. But anyway, that's for a whole nother type of show. But
that's our next channel we're coming up with.
Exactly. Yeah. Total yards for Ravens is our first closest to the pin challenge after the over-unders. If there's a tie amongst the participants, these are how we break those ties. So the first of which is total yards for the Ravens. I'm going to go 415 this week. I think they get on track. They have a good day, both in the air and on the ground, but more importantly, on the ground. And in a weather, that it's not so favorable for a good passing game. I think we do see the Ravens kind of ignite that rush attack, and then they sprinkle in enough play action pass to kind of play off that run game, and we get some yak yards through the air. So 415 is my total for the Ravens. What do you got, Jimbo?
I don't believe it. I'm just not a believer right now. 394 is what I'm going with.
Do you even like the Ravens?
You got to ask me that. I picked the Chiefs. I mean, I picked the Ravens. You guys picked the Chiefs. Let's not forget.
Chiefs. We're not even
let's not forget that Glenn and DK picked the Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. But no, 394. Look, I still am picking us to win, which I have never picked us to lose on this show. So I'm still picking us to win, newsflash. But I just don't think we're the offense that we were. I think we're too injured. I think we get the job done in a dirty fashion. It's 3 yards and a pile of dust. I don't believe in the running game outside Lamar Jackson, and the weather's not conducive to passing the football a ton. So I'm going 394. And DK, what are you going with, dude? I saw this number and I was like, what?
Explosion offensively.
DK, is it going to be due to the run game or the passing? Oh, no, it's going to be the passing game. You said over.
I think it's
Lamar,
both.
right?
I mean, you have 500 yards. That's both. I mean, that's 200 yards on the ground, 300 through the air. That's a good day.
Look, Lisa's got 550, 300 passing, 250 rushing.
Woo! I wouldn't be mad about that at all. That would be one of those relaxing games we've been waiting for all season.
Yeah, it's not happening. So,
look, 415, honestly, I think is the season average. Is that a punk move? Is that
you went way out on the limb there, but I know you're really trying really hard to win. That's all it is.
You're damn right. I don't want to lose.
No, let's get right to the score. Okay. I think it's going to be an interesting one here. Glenn, give us your score first.
Yeah, I think this is a game where the score is closer than the game actually feels while it's happening. I got the Ravens winning this game 27-20, so it's only a 7-point win with a total score of 47. However, I think it feels like the Ravens are in control of that game. Kind of one of those games where, they may score late to make it look a little closer, but I got this Ravens game. I don't want to be the team that plays the Ravens off of an embarrassing performance with a mini bye in there. So I think the Ravens have had an opportunity to fix some things, and I think they show that off in this game this Sunday. What do you say, Jimbo?
I like it. 24-21, the Ravens will never win by a wider margin than 3 points this year, no matter what they play. Good team, bad team. I think they'll win a lot of games, but blowouts are out the window. It's prove it to me now. I think we get the W. I think it's ugly. I think if this was Jacksonville, it would be ugly, and I think we win. I think if it were the Patriots, I think we win. I think it's ugly. I just think they're going to be ugly this year. So 24-21, Baltimore Ravens get the dub. DK, what you got?
DK with some last minute adjustments to his score. I think he was feeling a little pressure that I was putting on him. He's got the Ravens winning 31-20 with a total of 51. I appreciate that, DK, because you kind of prices righted me. And at least now you gave me the smallest of windows. I literally have 3 numbers where I can win this one. That's it. And then I lose, because if they get 46, I guess you split, Jimbo. And then if it's 48, 49, I win. Well, even then, 49. I have 2 possible. This is ridiculous. I'm being pinched right now by these 2 guys, and I think that I'm starting to think there's some coercion behind these 2. I think there's some chats or something that they're doing behind my back. Yeah, is that what I should have said? Coercion is not the right word.
Yeah.
Cooperation.
No, but we understood.
That was bad. That's why I'm not the writer here. But yeah, so I think they're up to something, but that's okay because I nailed the score. So there is not any wiggle room needed on my end because I got it exactly correct.
Nice. Well, that's all for us tonight, folks.
It's nice. He's not buying it, but
I gotta hit the road.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Give us all your predictions on your over, your unders, your closest to the pin. But most importantly, don't forget to join us right back here after the game on Sunday. We will do a live post-game show.
Sorry we didn't shout you out this week, but we will do it in the post-game, in the instant reaction.
Yes, we will shout all you guys out. We love and appreciate everything and all that you guys do. But yes, check us out for the game, and we'll talk then. Where's your see ya?
See ya.